and fresh. One water here. 200 naira, thank you. Auntie, snack, please. Go.
Lagos, a city full of lights, a city full of dreams. People travel from different places hoping to make it in this city. Some succeed, some struggle, and some people lose themselves completely. Many girls you see online living flashy lives, wearing expensive clothes, driving luxury cars. Sometimes their stories are not as beautiful as they look. This is the story of Ada, a simple girl who almost lost everything while trying to live the life of a Lagos baddie. Ada lived in a small, face me, I face you compound in Surulere. Life was not easy for her. Every morning before sunrise, Ada woke up from her small bed, washed quickly, and prepared the things she would sell for the day. She arranged sachet water, gala, and groundnuts carefully on a tray. Then she placed the tray on her head and walked out to hustle. Ada spent most of her day inside Lagos traffic, walking from car to car. Pure water, cold pure water, gala, she shouted as vehicles slowly moved in the hot sun. Some drivers bought from her, some ignored her, some shouted at her to leave their cars. But Ada endured everything quietly because she believed things would get better one day. And she had someone who gave her hope. His name was Chinedu. Chinedu was a mechanic apprentice working at a small roadside workshop. His clothes were always covered with grease. His hands were always black with engine oil. But Chinedu had a kind heart. Every evening when Ada finished hawking, she usually stopped by the mechanic shop to see him. Chinedu would see her from afar and smile immediately. He would wipe his hands with a rag and walk toward her. Sometimes they sat under a mango tree near the workshop. They talked about their dreams. One evening, Chinedu looked at Ada and said confidently, "One day I will open my own mechanic workshop. A big one." Ada laughed softly. Chinedu continued speaking with determination. "And when that day comes, I will marry you properly." Ada smiled. "Even if you remain mechanic apprentice forever, I will still marry you." Chinedu shook his head. "No, my wife must enjoy life." Their love was simple, but it was real. One hot afternoon, Ada was walking on a busy road in Lekki. Traffic was heavy that day. Cars were barely moving. Ada walked carefully between the vehicles, offering sachet water to drivers. Suddenly, a shiny white Range Rover stopped beside her. The car looked very expensive. Ada glanced at it briefly and continued walking. Then the window slowly rolled down. A beautiful lady wearing big sunglasses looked at her closely. The woman suddenly called out loudly, "Ada, is that you?" Ada stopped walking. She looked carefully at the woman inside the car. Then her eyes widened in shock. Ngozi? It was her old secondary school friend. But this was not the same Ngozi she remembered. This Ngozi looked completely different. Her hair was long and expensive. Her makeup was perfect. Her nails were long and shining. Her wrist carried a designer watch. Even the inside of the car looked luxurious. Ngozi looked at Ada's tray and sighed. "Ah, Ada, you are still suffering like this?" Ada forced a small smile. Before Ada could say anything, traffic started moving again. Ngozi quickly brought out some thick naira notes and handed them to Ada. Then she gave her a
Here,
small
please take
card.
this.
"Call
For
me,"
me? But why?
Ngozi said. "I can change your life." Before Ada could respond, the Range Rover drove away. Ada
Business.
stood there in the
Thank you,
traffic
but what
holding the
is
card.
this?
Her
So
heart
much
was beating
money and
fast.
a card?
That night, Ada could not sleep. She kept thinking about Ngozi. They used to sit in the same classroom. They used to share food during break time. But now Ngozi was living a completely different life. Ada kept staring at the small card in her hand. Her mind was full of questions. How did Ngozi become so rich? The thought would not leave her mind. The next evening, Ada visited Chinedu at the mechanic shop, but she looked quiet and distracted. Chinedu noticed immediately. Ada, what is wrong with you today? Ada hesitated. Then
Ada,
she said
what's
slowly,
what's wrong?
I saw my old
I
school
saw
friend
my
today.
friend today. She
Chinedu
has
nodded.
everything.
That is good
Hey,
now.
we'll get there too,
Ada
I
continued
promise.
speaking. She was driving a very big car. Chinedu smiled. Good for her. But Ada still looked troubled. Later that night, she picked up the card again. Her hands were shaking slightly. Finally, she decided to call the number. The phone rang. Then Ngozi answered immediately. Ada, I knew you would call. Ngozi sounded excited. She invited Ada to visit her apartment in Victoria Island. Ada agreed, but she had no idea that decision would almost destroy her life. When Ada arrived at Ngozi's apartment, she was shocked. The building itself was beautiful and tall. When she entered the apartment, everything inside looked expensive. There was a huge television on the wall, glass tables, designer bags, expensive perfumes. Everything looked like something from a movie. Three other beautiful girls were sitting in the living room. They were laughing and drinking wine. One girl was busy taking selfies with her phone.
Okay,
Another
pose for
girl
the
was
gram,
counting money.
ladies. Yes,
Ada
yes,
stood there
exciting.
feeling
Cheers to that.
uncomfortable.
This is
Ngozi
living.
walked toward her and hugged her warmly. Welcome to the good life, Ngozi said. Ada looked around the apartment carefully. Then she asked quietly, Ngozi, what exactly do you do? Ngozi smiled slowly. We entertain rich men. Ada frowned. What do you mean? Ngozi leaned closer. Politicians, businessmen, oil company bosses, they like beautiful girls. We spend time with them and they take care of us. Ada's heart began beating faster. She understood what Ngozi was saying. One of the girls laughed loudly. My sister, one night fit change your whole life. Ada looked around again. Money was everywhere. Expensive phones, designer shoes, luxury bags. The temptation was strong. Ngozi held Ada's hands. You have
Ada, I
suffered
know
too
this is
much.
hard, but
Just try it once. Ada hesitated, but the thought of escaping poverty pushed her forward. Finally, she agreed.
Ada, you
That
look
same
amazing. That
night,
dress is
Ngozi
perfect. I feel
arranged
so
for Ada
nervous.
to
Is it
meet
really
a
okay?
rich chief
It's
in
more
a
than
luxury
okay. It's
hotel.
you.
Ada was extremely nervous. Her heart was beating very fast. When the chief entered the hotel room, he smiled at her in a strange way. You are very beautiful, the chief said. He moved closer to her. Ada felt uncomfortable immediately. The chief reached out and tried to touch her arm. At that moment, something inside Ada's mind screamed, this is wrong. Before the chief understood what was happening, Ada slapped
Get
him
away
hard
from
across
me!
the face. The
Don't
sound
you dare
echoed
touch me
inside the
again!
room. The chief shouted
Come
angrily,
here, I must
but
have you.
Ada quickly pushed him away and ran out of the room. She ran down the hotel hallway. She ran down the stairs. She ran until she reached the street. Tears filled her eyes. She knew she had almost lost herself. After that incident, Ida started noticing strange things. The men who visited the apartment behaved suspiciously. They
We have
whispered
to be
in quiet
careful.
voices.
I
They
know,
made
we
mysterious
will.
phone calls. One night, a girl named Sade was taken away by a powerful politician. They said she was going to a special party, but Said never returned. Later that night, Ada overheard two men talking quietly. One man whispered to the other, the sacrifice has been completed. Ada froze immediately. Her heart started beating fast. Sacrifice? Her body began shaking. She suddenly realized something terrible. These men were not ordinary rich men. They were involved in dark rituals, and girls like them were being used. Fear filled Ada's heart. She knew she had to leave immediately. That same night, Ada ran away from the apartment. She ran through the dark streets without stopping. Finally, she reached Chinedu's mechanic workshop. When
Chinedu,
she
I
saw
can't
him,
do this
she broke
anymore.
down crying.
Ada, look at me.
Chinedu
This
was
together.
confused.
I'm so
Ada,
scared.
what happened? Through her tears, Ada told him everything. The rich men, the hotel, the missing girl, the sacrifices. Chinedu listened quietly. Then he held her hands gently and he said something she would never forget. Money that will cost you your life is not a blessing. Ada cried even harder.
Chinedu, I can't do
At
this
that moment, she
anymore.
understood
Ada,
something
look at me. We're in
very
this together.
important.
I'm
The
so
simple
scared.
life she once complained about was actually peaceful and safe. From that day forward, Ada stopped chasing
Here,
fast
this is
money.
for you.
What
She
is it?
returned to her
Something happened.
honest hustle because she had learned a powerful lesson. In Lagos, not every flashy life is success. Some of them are traps, and sometimes the price is far too high.